Yo, we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Show Me Your Favorite Pulse Chain Tokens. My name is Hans. I'm simply doing it on the internet. You need to listen to me at your own risk. I'm not a financial advisor. Crypto is a risky. You can get absolutely wrecked if you don't know what you're doing. So let's jump into the video. I put my Twitter profile here so I can see if there are any suggestions. Chuck your coins that you want me to take a look at in the chat for me. I need to pause this over here. What's up, UFO to go? The UFO has landed. Elsie Pole. Granny bullish symmetrical triangle. We'll take a look at that. What's up, UFO to go? And yeah, let's wait till everybody starts rolling in here. But firstly, we'll just go over the ecosystem coins. Pulse Chain had a nice rally in the last 4 days. Cooling off a little bit now, another green candle here. There's a little bit of a rejection candle there. No real divergences to speak of on the daily, looking good there. The 4-hour chart had a little bit of bearish divergence as price went higher, yet the indicator went lower. It has been confirmed because the price went below that, but it's just popped up again. This looks like a little bull flag actually, just consolidating in this flag here. So if this does break out, this is your flagpole. If we do break out here, we can see a nice rally to the 5,300 area. So yeah, the daily doesn't look bad actually. Let's go to the shorter time frames, maybe the 1 hourly. No bullish divergence here. We got pretty oversold to the extreme sold areas. Nothing really to write home about. No real divergences. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look... I mean, it's neutral, right? It's probably very dependent on what the rest of the market is going to do. Bitcoin, at the end of the day, does have the say over this market until it starts breaking above its all-time highs. Can't really expect anything else to change. Bitcoin just chilling in this range. Let's quickly look at what the dollar is doing, because the dollar has been showing a lot of strength. Yeah, it's still going. And unless this turns around, it's been a very explosive move to the upside. You would expect some consolidation sometime. Also, the US oil has been rallying. This puts pressure on pretty much everything, because everything in the stock market needs to use fuel, every product that needs to be created. So this is expensive, and it's also putting pressure on the stock market. If we quickly take a look at the SPX, that's a massive gap down yesterday. This is a breakdown. That doesn't look good. I'm quite surprised that Bitcoin is and crypto is holding up so well. Probably holding up so well because we didn't really participate in this massive run up from the lows. This is a confirmed breakdown. Hopefully we can pop above this. There's a massive gap here. Gaps like to be filled. 95% of the time gaps will get filled, so look for this to maybe relieve up here. But the rates stayed the same, but the Fed was very, very hawkish. So that's a little bit of an overview of the macro things. But we're still chilling around here. I still just think we should just continue consolidating here for as long as possible until the end of the halvening. And from there, Bitcoin tends to do pretty well. And when it pops above its all-time highs, you will see the altcoins do incredible stuff. And until then, I don't expect us to do crazy things. Let's just move here, consolidate, build a nice base, and then we can run off. Let's see what the people are saying. I promised Access Alive that I'll take a look at his coin. So before I forget for the third time, let's just quickly look at Access Alive's coin. 13k liquidity. The market cap is extremely high, 1.6 billion with a very low liquidity. He holds the majority of the supply. I haven't seen him selling on the market. I'm pretty sure everybody can trust the dude. There was a large whale that pumped a lot of money into this. It's fully retraced. You can expect there's some people that's been accumulating this all the way down here has taken some profits, because I mean, I even looked at this when it was 10 pulse. I knew about that. Let me just see back here. I think it was $10 when I looked at it first, and I never participated. I'm very bleak about that, but stuff like that happens, right? We are well within the reload zone. There is unfortunately lower highs here, so either it consolidates here for quite a while before tanking off again. We can look at the indicators on the RSI. Coming from very oversold areas, starting to get into the range now. Not even at 50 just yet. You would need to wait for this to cool down a little bit more for those guys to take profits here. Yeah, so that doesn't look bad. It's inside the reload zone. I personally would not get this here. We can probably do an analysis just of the line chart, as there's a week. It's kind of confusing, right? So yeah, this looks a lot more reasonable to start getting it in these areas. You can see the M here. That is the opposite of a W. You can see the market smiling at you. When it smiles at you, it wants to take your money, right? So yeah, maybe wait for it to get into these areas, bottom out nicely, and off we go. Okay. So Granny, I see Matt88 says Granny is the next SHIB. I've been waiting in these reload zones and probably been a little bit greedy to not have taken these dips here, because I can always get some here, and then if it does go lower, ladder in on the short or the lower levels. But it keeps popping off, and I think if you even got here 15, you've gotten a double as well, a free position in this coin. Just consolidating a little bit, you've got higher highs and higher lows, so that is technically an uptrend. We can pull up an uptrend here. Let's just put it there and extend it, right? Not a lot of data just yet, but we can look at the RSI. Slap bang in the middle on the 2 hourly, the 1 hourly. Not lower, so there's no bullish divergences yet. Let's just make sure 48.99, 48. So yeah, no bullish divergences yet, but it looks good. I remember with Keck, you tend to consolidate after the first run for quite a while. And then if people are still active and they're participating and talking about it, memeing about it, there's lots of cool memes being created. It does tend to have another run after that. And then it's like all markets, right? You get consolidation, you get a nice rally, then you get a consolidation again, and then a nice rally. If it doesn't rug pull you, right? So my community founded this coin. We bootstrapped the liquidity. And this liquidity pool is locked for all the way to 2027. So it's not going to rug pull. There's 17k liquidity that's going to be there. And I think there are other liquidity pools as well created by others. So do use Petius.io whenever you're getting tokens on Pulse Chain. Always use Petius or GoPulse.com. You just get a better order execution on your trades. So Guarani was the first coin. I'm gonna like these guys. Check out ORGN, Oregon Money. Maybe I should put it here so you guys can also see what I'm looking at. Check out ORGN, based and hardworking team behind the Pulse Chain Gem. Let's look at ORGN for for you guys. ORGN. Hopefully it hasn't rallied already. 7k liquidity. So it's paired with Hex as well. 6k there, so that's like 14k liquidity overall. 26k market cap. Already launched. Let's switch to Wrapped Pulse. Well into its launch phase. Low liquidity. How far is it up already? 4,000% ish. Let's pull our fib tool. A little bit high here. Need to wait for it to come down. Let's go on the RSI on shorter time frames. Nice little W down here and off he went. Not really oversold as I would like it to be. Was oversold here on the hourly, coming back down a little bit. Yeah, I'd have to wait for at least the reload zone. It doesn't look bad. We should maybe go look at the website. So very few coins actually have a website. Charts, lockers. Oregon Money is a community meme token led by a group of diamond-handed EMP VIP members. Then you would also have to go and check out the distribution of the tokens. It does look like their liquidity is locked. Let's go ahead and look at that quickly. Oregon. Click on the Oregon so we can look at the holders. So 99% of the coins has been burned. So very low supply if such a lot has been burned. I just like coins with a lot of tokens. You can see with Pulse Chain, with Hex. It's people just feel like they're getting more coins. This guy's got 48. What we can do is copy the top holders' coins. We can filter the maker and see if he says no trades has been made, so he's been allocated these coins, which is fine, I guess. It's the same with Granny. There was guys that put together coins to actually make the liquidity. But none of these top holders actually bought and haven't sold yet. So that's probably another thing to make it look like it could be like blank or non-user. No one's using it. You can generate wallets to send coins to. So they got a 26k market cap. I'm not going to go through all of these because it could be a while before you actually get a real market participant. Let's look at the top traders. This guy bought 5k, sold, so he's up 3x. He still has coins here. Let's see where he actually bought. Little bit, he's probably also somebody that got coins early because he didn't buy the lows. I mean, he started buying here and been selling all the way down, pretty much creating this downtrend. Yeah, so some people got coins early, and I think this guy's probably one of them, selling down the price. Liquidity is locked, but that doesn't matter if you have people that have a large supply. Let's quickly again look at how many holders there are. 101 holders. Okay, yeah, so if you were interested in this is not the area to get it. You should wait for the reload zone. Concerned a little bit with people that have large supplies, but they're not participating, so it could be blank wallets. So yeah, do your own risk management there. So 16 people in here. Welcome everybody. Let's quickly finish these guys. We've looked at Granny, so lots of people want us to take a look at Granny. Yeah, so do go check out Granny. Follow it here at Granny DeFi. Join the Telegram here, etc. There's a website being worked on by the community as well. So yeah, it is developing pretty cool. So let's look at some of you guys. You have asked if we can look at Moon for him. Moon. Here we go, 16k liquidity, down 20% on the day. Everything is pulling back a little bit, so as the whole market is consolidating. Concerning Wick there, massive dump. It's probably all the way to the 88.6 level, 16k. Let's look at some of the top traders. So this guy bought the price, which is good. He's bought like 66,000. Made a nice 4k here. We can look at the indicators. Let's just swap the wrap pulse before we forget, because we want more pulse. We've looked at this recently. We talked about this W here. It is now broken out of that W. A nice little measured move, but it wasn't enough to make new all-time highs. Coming back to maybe retest this breakout level. You can also see some confluence there. Most of the volume was traded down here. RSI is still pretty high, but the first rule for the Granny has not been fulfilled yet. It's not inside of the reload zone. Do you have divergences? 52, 52, 52.96. So this is higher. So there is hidden bullish divergence here, but this can come a lot lower. Let's look at the hourly. Not really oversold just yet. It will get at the extreme sold areas when it gets back inside the reload zone. Look at this level. If it holds, this is the Wyckoff check and a sign of strength if it does want to hold here. But yeah, you need to wait for it to come down at least to these levels. You can catch a falling knife at these levels, so the Granny can, or she can wait for market structure, like market structure back here. You get your higher lows and then a higher high breaks and off you go. And would have you gotten a double here for all the way to, so no, you haven't gotten your double yet if she bought with at the breakout level, but that's a fine and safe area for the Granny to go long if she wanted some of this. Moon. So I've seen a few people talk about this coin. Good morning from Texas. Spark swap, please. Okay, cool. Let's look at Spark swap, please. Lots of people talk about Spark. This is a DEX as well. Spark token is the Spark token. It's the incentive token again. I'm sorry that I keep asking, but so I think I said it was a little bit dangerous catching the falling knife here, because we don't know if it will just continue to dump like the incentive token. But you've got higher lows here, right? And it seems like it's defending this level. You can see the higher lows here, right? The W would be confirmed as soon as we break here. That would be a higher high. But then you would unfortunately already be outside of the reload zone. Let's look at the 4 hourly. Got nice and oversold. So no bullish divergences yet. 1.7 million liquidity. Let's look at the top traders. Wow, this guy was killing it. Bought 2k, sold 140k. So look at these guys when they start buying. Okay, and if they start buying, so you just copy their contract address or their address, go to transactions and filter the maker. When this guy starts buying again, that's probably, so he's been buying all the way down here, and he's defending the price over here. So I mean, The granny, it's inside of the reload zone. You've got higher lows. You haven't got a higher high just yet. There's no bullish divergences yet. So two of your, actually just one of your rules have been fulfilled. But if you really like this project and you're staking it, the granny can't fault to maybe getting a little bit here and making sure she gets more if it goes lower at her other levels. But she needs to manage her risk. And if you don't know how these things work, check out my ebook in the description down below. Message me on Telegram if you want to get 50% off and pay in crypto. And you can also join the chat and all those juicy things. I also have the coins that I'm buying. Yeah, so it's reassuring that this massive trader is actually rebuying some of his positions because he's made a massive killing on this chart. Let's just quickly see where he actually started buying. Did he really? I mean, he can't have been buying up here. Oh, you know what? He could have been farming this, or he got coins allocated to his portfolio. Because this 1K or this 2K that's been buying is these recent buys that's been coming in now. So he's been murdering the chart with sells, right? And now putting in buying 2K of the 140K that's he's been sold, that's less than a percentage, right? That's a little concerning. So either he farmed this with a massive supply, like he would have had to have massive bags and been farming it from the beginning, or this is an insider dumping. But this is wild speculation, right? There's really no way unless you started doing chain analysis on what he's been doing if you go through all his charts. But he's been taking a lot out of this, right? So yeah, that's SparkSwap. Just yeah, like I said, if the granny wanted to get some, it is inside the reload zone. The live stream isn't watchable at the moment, even though I have my VPN set to South Africa. Why would that be? I mean, my OBS is saying that we've got 30 frames, kilobits per second. It's in the 6Ks. OBS is showing. Does anybody else have issues with the live stream? You should probably not use a VPN because a VPN makes it slower. Setting it to South Africa is not going to make a difference because I'm pretty sure YouTube streams from the US. So if my signal is weak to the US, then it would be weak. But you getting the signal from the US is not going to make a difference. Thoughts on Fame token? I see it's been rallying recently. I sold my double when I got in. I haven't rebought just yet, but I'm being lazy not watching this chart. But the Fame guys' coins tend to launch really well, but then just move sideways. There's much more liquidity on PHUX itself. Now, unfortunately, DexScreener does not have the chart for a balancer fork yet. So it's wiki here. You know what? We're probably just going to see it move sideways like this for a while. We can look at the GMX, how GMX performs. Because this is a form of GMX, and GMX trades on Arbitrum. It does have a revenue share, and look at this chart. It's just sideways, right? And this is it's forked from it, and balancer as well. That's the PHUX. Balancer only did a 6x. Buck, the founder, is a traditional finance guys, and these coins with lots of utility, they're not gonna give you 100 or 1,000 x's. They're just gonna hold their value really well. They're gonna do what they're supposed to do. And from the lows, I mean, that's 12 to, that is like a 6x. So don't expect crazy gains. You park your money here Yeah, that's like a 6x. And you just farm the protocol, stake your coins, etc., etc. And he's not going to be tweeting about his price. He's just going to talk about how great the technology is. I really like the guys. I don't think that I'm like talking bad about them. But when I told him in my Twitter once that Balancer in the last cycle only did a 6x where Ethereum did like insane gains. And he said, well, that's good enough. He said, well done. Well done, Balancer. So he's not even going to scream about crazy gains, right? He's just going to be happy with it doing its job, right? And these are people with lots of money. They're happy with a 2x or a 3x or even a 6x, right? Ash, dude, thanks for the donation. It's a pleasure. I hope you sort out the issue there, but if anyone can tell me if it's just Ash having difficulty or is it everybody? Yeah, once again, Ash, thanks a lot, bro. I have full 5G fiber to the house and still loading every 3 seconds. That's really weird. All I had to do was rest YouTube. So hopefully you figure it out. Morning, mate. Thanks for streaming. It's a pleasure, dude. TW. What's up, Abed? I'm not gonna slaughter your name. So yeah, that's what I think. Feel my pulse about fame. If it doubles again if I get another, I'll sell another double right into pulse. Hans, can we look at the PX and WPS ratio? Yeah, we can do that. This is Hex on pulse chain. Let's take a look at the ratio. So stream looks good from us. Okay, Greenwall says it looks good. All good says crypto stocks. I'm in the UK and it's fine. Okay, I'm glad that it's not my side at least. Yeah, so been outperforming Pulse, right? And 8-bit has been right on this from the start, saying that, and he got in this trade right real early here. You've got your higher lows all the way up. It's come down nicely even on the RSI, right? Like it's almost ready to go again. This is 41.19, 41.29. So almost, so yeah, it is. You've got hidden bullish divergence here. This is not enough to reverse the price, but for the trend to continue, which we are still in an uptrend. So, but for the granny, you've missed this, right? You should have been accumulating it back here if you were going to trade this. So you have unfortunately missed this. This trade is on its way, right? There was a little bit of bearish divergence here. We can see how high the RSI was back here. The price went higher, but it's played out now. I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that because this is just a range that's probably just going to keep on playing out. If Pulse performs really, really well, look out for this reload zone down here. This is where you should be swapping some Pulse for PHEX down here. But for now, you're going to have to wait. The granny just have to wait for this to play out. We have no idea how high this keeps here. It could go even higher. But Pulse or Hex overvalued versus PX here. That's not saying that it can't go higher. It's possibly that it can go higher, possible that it can go higher. Just if you wanted to get some PX, I would wait for, the granny would wait for that reload zone to be hit at least. But until then, there's nothing I can do here. I just have to wait for it to come lower if I am interested in getting some. EHEX on the other hand, let's take a look at that and the ratio. It's just been moving sideways here, but this is the opposite, right? EHEX is undervalued versus PHEX here. You have to make that decision if you want to get some here. A very, very choppy chart. Not bad liquidity. Let's take a look at the RSI. That might tell us a little bit more. This wick here kind of threw the ball off a little bit. But that is hidden bullish divergence. Price is higher, yet the indicators are lower. But not enough to reverse the price just yet. You know what? We're probably gonna set a lower high here, a lower low here. Might not be that aggressive, but it could be slight, so a little bit lower like that. And this RSI still got a lot of room. That would give us, as price goes lower, that would give us, and the RSI still being higher, that would be strong divergences and show that there's actually some buying coming in here. And that would be enough for a reversal. Eventually, I mean, it's gonna, yeah, these are gonna be cool trades to do as you're in assets that you like, right? And you're just swapping ratios between the two. Then you need to be incredibly disciplined with what you're doing. Spark is the incentive, but you can stake it and earn Spark and Wrapped Pulse LP. We looked at this the other time. Last time, I should say. Spark swap. Here it is. 1000 followers, sparkswap.xyz. Always get your links from Twitter or someplace that you know you're doing it right from. This is single-sided staking. Farms. Spark and PLS. APR. This is the largest farm. This is always the largest farm. Tends to be the largest farm. The incentive token and the PLS LP. Now on PulseX, it's the stablecoins doing most of the. So there's a staking, there's single-sided staking, a lot like a pancake swap fork, right? Give me 1 second, guys. I really need to mute my phone quickly. I don't know why people are looking for me now. So, Granny to the Moon. We've looked at that ratio for you. Can you take a look at Courage? Yeah, so Courage is by the almighty. Now, that's embarrassing that I can't get his name right. So you can stake this to earn Granny token. 3k liquidity, 37k market cap. The liquidity is locked, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just switch to Wrapped Pulse. This launched just after Granny. It's not by me, it is by a community member. So he's graciously put up his own Granny supply for you to stake this. Still got higher lows. You're not in value, unfortunately. You need to wait for it to come down here. If this closes a candle down here, that would be, oh no, not even, because this was higher. You still have higher highs here, but lower than that first high. You can look at the indicators, although there's not a lot of data here. RSI is trending down nicely. There's hidden bullish divergences here. But this can easily continue down and invalidate this bullish divergence. So bullish divergence indicates that the trend might just continue. And you can see here that the indicator is lower. Sorry about that, dudes. Always when there's no one ever looking for you, but as soon as you start getting busy, people are looking for you. It's always funny like that, isn't it? So this is courage. You need to wait for it to get down into value, right? Grandpa, what do you think about my theory that X has a floor price in the PLS ratio of 80 to 100 due to the ever rising T-share rate price? Hmm. So there's definitely a rising value because of the T-share price. And it looks like your theory is holding up because, I mean, even though it is up a lot versus PLS, the RSI continues, or the momentum continues to come down, which generally the momentum comes down with the price, but it's just chilling in like a very weird area, like holding up really, really well versus it. Yeah, and if it holds here, I mean, that would be great. I would really love for it to come down a little bit so I can get some, but it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon. Look here, the RSI is already almost totally reset, and we haven't really done a good retracement just yet. So it could be the chart is telling me that you might be right. Can we look at Atropa? I think we should cover the whole Atropa ecosystem quickly, just because it's got so much eyes. PX is cycle 1 technically. Technically, you are right. So die down 41%, teddy bear down also 40%. I'm making up tabs for these, opening up tabs, and Monad money also retracing now, unfortunately, because so let's look at it versus Wrapped Pulse. Coming into your reload zone now, the RSI coming down nicely. I mean, you can look at these bearish divergences. This was telling you. And when everybody was screaming on Twitter and being very, very loud, you should have been concerned, right? I was actually just telling you maybe take some profits, right? There's nothing wrong in taking some profits. And then you can even reload when it gets back into value, into these areas down here. We're fast on the way to the 78.6 level. That's 78% down from the highs. We can go to shorter time frames. There is some bullish divergences forming now, but it's very, very early, not confirmed at all, which could give you a little bit of a relief pump here. But wait, because it went up so quickly, just wait for, you can see it got to the real extreme levels up here. Just wait for these to get to at least the oversold areas, because there was lots of pressure moving this to the upside, and it's going to come down. That is normal, very, very normal for markets to do that, because people are in lots of profits up here. And when people start seeing their balances go down, it's natural for them to be like, okay, I need to take profits now or I'm going to lose everything, right? Buying begets buying and selling begets selling. As the selling accelerates, people are going to sell. It's actually just as simple as that. So yeah, it is inside the reload zone. You don't have real structure yet. You do have hidden bullish divergence, but once again, it's not enough to reverse the price. You can see price is higher still, but the indicator is lower. This is good. Let it chill off. This will tell you when it's ready to go again. It's going to look something like this, right? You can see these higher lows here. Boom, off you go. Down, high, a higher low, and then a higher high. Even this area here, this would have been fine if you even took the trade. You wouldn't even have to come catch a bottom here. You could have just wait for the breakout level to happen, right? You get your breakout, you get a retest, and boom, there you go. Like that's your indication to go along. So maybe wait for the same thing. let it base out, let it create a higher low. No, it doesn't have to take that long. I'm just drawing it out for you so it looks good. And wait for the break of the high. Then you don't have to catch a falling knife, right? Wait for it to get up here. You can even wait for a retest, and then it goes. So that is what is called market structure. A little bit early here, wait for it to get to the oversold areas. Or if you really want to start catching a falling knife, it's in the middle of the reload zone. You're not buying the top. So I can't fault the little lady if she wanted to put in a very small percentage of her portfolio here, never risking her whole portfolio, right? We keep covering these things, getting a little bit here, expecting it to go lower. And if it goes lower, she can get a little bit more. Maybe her next target would be the 78.6 level or even the 88.6 if it gets that low. Right, her next target would be the 17 PLS per die and then the 9 PLS per die. She doesn't want to pick areas. So that is die. Let's look at Teddy for you guys. I mean, all of this looks the same, and that's why kind of weird like how the whole ecosystem goes together, but it's probably to be expected as it's the same deployer, right? So Teddy Bear also inside of the reload zone. Got like really oversold at these areas. Made, you can see the M up here, right? Classic M with the second high being lower than the first one. That's why I said you need to defeat the high up here. Otherwise this is coming down. And then you need to wait for a W. You can see the W here, picture perfect, a higher low. How low can this go? This was your breakout level back here. We can do a volume analysis to see where most of the volume was traded. So pretty high, this was the previous stop. And then we can also do a fib extension. So yeah, maybe you come down to these, tested these previous highs, and this is still a sign of strength. If you can hold this level up here, maybe consolidate here, create your higher high, and then break out, this is still a sign of strength in Wyckoff theory. If you retest the previous breakout point and it held. Actually, I won't be surprised if it holds there. So yeah, imagine you bought late and you bought the previous high. You would have still been up pretty good. And selling halves on doubles up here, you now have free positions in this coin and you can buy back more if you really wanted to. Don't hate these things. Don't date them. Just trade them, okay? But people have done really well. Let's just look at the top traders here. This guy bought 4K. He's up 100K, right? This guy bought 250K. He only made 80K. So that is very risky to be investing that much money and only making this much. Hopefully he sold his whole position. Unfortunate for the guys that bought the top. So there isn't the most craziest gains that's been made. This guy up here, well done to him. And I tweeted this out, got a lot of hate for it. But this guy was selling back into Hex and into Wrapped Pulse. Taking profits. That's the way it's supposed to be done. But once again, we're inside the reload zone. If the granny really likes this coin and she doesn't mind sitting underwater, but having more to buy if it does go lower, and she's not risking more than 5% of her overall portfolio, I can't fault her for getting a little bit here if she really wanted to. And I really need to get some of this eventually because I keep on missing it. I closed iTropa, unfortunately. Let's just pull up iTropa first. And look at iTropa for you. These are great examples to teach you guys what you should be looking out for. So we've looked at DAI, we've looked at Teddy, looked at iTropa. So yeah, RSI is coming down low nicely. We can see how we drew this recently. Was this what I just... Guys, did I just look at this for you, or am I crazy? Let's look at Hedron and Icosa for you. What do you guys maybe make me remember what I'm doing? Either way, you're still in the... Just to summarize, you're in the reload zone. You need to wait for higher lows if you want to be safe, and a higher high. We can quickly look at where most of the volume was traded. So below that level, the next volume node is down here at 124, 125. Let's round it off. iTropa per pulse. You're in value. You're not buying the top, although everybody wanted to buy it up here. Now it's quite quiet for some reason. You can catch a falling knife, getting some more if it does go lower. People are now fudding it openly, which is funny. What's his name? Nagabo is now fudding the coin that he sold everything for. It's funny how markets work, right? Let's look at Hedron for you. We looked at this last time. Just the dollar value. These are lower lows, right? So you don't have market structure. You're not buying the top on this. In fact, let's look at Hedron versus X, or versus on Ethereum, excuse me. So we have most of the data. Still making lower lows here on the weekly. You have higher lows here finally. And you've got bullish divergence. So we've got indicator confirmation. We're starting to create structure. Well, but I keep on telling you guys this, but when the new contract gets launched, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? There's probably going to be an announcement that it's launching soon. And don't be buying it when it launches, right? When everybody knows about it. That's when you should be maybe taking some profits. Yeah, just consolidating, creating bullish divergences. This is a nice little W forming here. So if we can hold these higher lows here, let me just plot it for you guys. That would be good, right? These are higher lows. Just move sideways here for a while until the launch happens, and you're going to see this launch and maybe even give you a double. We can look at it versus Hex quickly. This is still Ethereum. I think it's underperforming Hex. It's actually holding up pretty well versus Hex. Hedron versus Hex. This is a nice chart. You're inside of the reload zone versus Hex, right? So if you wanted, so Hedron is undervalued versus Hex here. If we look at the RSI, not much. That's not telling us much. Just you're at the 78.6 level. You've got higher lows. You broke, no, you haven't broken out just yet. So yeah, maybe if you wanted to swap some E-Hex for Hedron here, as a little lady, I wouldn't think that's anything funny, because you've got higher lows. You have creating a little bit of a triangle here. This might just break out here, right? And selling halves on doubles. If you buy here at 37, your first sell will be at 72, 74, 76 here. So let's just be accurate. First sell will be here in this area. Second sell would be at 14, 15 at the all-time highs. So yeah, then you've got a risk-free trade down here. If you wanted to swap some Hedron for Hex, it's catching a bit here because I think people are starting to speculate on the release of the new protocol. I mean, I love this chart. This is beautiful. You're defending your lows here. You had a nice run up when Icosa launched, came all the way down. You're inside of the reload zone. You're creating higher lows. Yeah, so the trade here is to get some hedron. But that's not financial advice. You need to know how to manage your risk. You can stake your hedron. There's not much going on. Not many people are talking about it. Do you think hedron and Icosa will reach parity on both chains due to chain interoperability? Parity in what way? Parity with, with each other. I mean, back in the day before Pulse Chain launched, I think everyone expected that the Pulse Chain coins will be more valuable than their counterparts on Ethereum because there's less friction in that you're paying less fees, right? You can have very cool staking ladders. You can have 30-day staking ladders by really not getting slaughtered by fees, right? So I know. I think that Ethereum side will always be less expensive than the Pulse Chain side. And it was made for a reason, right? Pulse Chain was made to better Hex. And we can conclude that Hedron is going to be better on that side as well. And that's fine. I mean, you still have your assets on the Ethereum side. I'm not selling them, at least not now. We're still in the bear market. Start taking profits in the bull market. This is the time to accumulating, to keep on staking your Hedron and keep on staking your ICO. So compounding it until we get the new protocol launch, and then we can reassess. Yeah, so that's what I think. I think we've gotten through all of the chats here. So Pulse X also down 3% on the day, had a nice little run up. Let's see if we find support here inside of the reload zone. RSI. I mean, it doesn't have to say that this run is already, even though the ETH version can be staked on PLS. So that's actually a really good point. That might change things a little bit, but we have to see how the contract performs, right? If it is going to be like that we're going to stake. I know Alex did say that, so. And we will, yeah, I think we will see it in the charts, right? I mean, the chart is going to tell you the real story. Fundamentally, it's pretty hard to think about these things before the time, right? We can talk all we want and think we know the answers, but we can be proven wrong pretty quickly. What's up, Alan Ball? Thank you for the kind comments, dude. Let's quickly look at PLX versus Ethereum. Versus Pulse Chain. Nice little W down here, right? Higher lows and a higher high. Off you go. You can still retest this breakout level. Let's see if it holds here. That would be a sign of strength in Wyckoff if you hold the breakout point. And I still want to see us move sideways on this area. Create a nice little base. Create nice structure. And yeah, slap bang at the bottom of the range is where we found support in this. Very, very undervalued versus Pulse, right? So getting some here, after all, this is a Richard Hart product. And these two assets will oscillate versus each other. It went up all the way to 50% of a Pulse, now at 25%. So yeah, your first double will be all the way up here. So I won't be throwing in all of my Pulse in Pulse X because you might just get a double. But don't be surprised if we just throughout the bull market just like oscillate between these areas. If I'm forced to do dollar cost average either in Pulse or Pulse X, if I have free fiat coming in now, I'd probably buy PLSX. It's probably the better one to do because it's overvalued. it was extremely oversold at these areas down here on the daily. You created bullish divergences, I think. No, not really. But it's not needed that the price can reverse. TSFI, yeah, sure. This is another Atropa, right? The whole Atropa ecosystem is down 30%. Bouncing off of the 61.8 now. Should I look at it versus Atropa? You've broken out of a W here versus Itropa, so TSFI is cheap versus Itropa. So this could mean Itropa needs to come down a lot more, or TSFI might overperform or not come down as quickly, or TSFI can go up in price. But TSFI is the cheaper protocol here. You've got nice little W here that's now broken out. And looks like TSFI wants to outperform Itropa here. That could mean multiple things for Itropa, as I just said. Still in a downtrend here. RSI still pretty high. So this speaks, if I look at the USD value, it does tell me that Itropa needs to come down a little bit more. You've bounced off the 61.8 right now. You should have been getting some there if you were interested in this. But this wants to come down. If you've not changed trend just yet, you've got higher lows here. But like wicks and tails like to be eaten just back here, right? You see this wick? It was eaten. That meaning that the price went all the way up there. Ate this whole wick here. You've got the same story here now as well. A nice tail there. Don't be surprised if the whole tail gets consumed. And that would mean lower prices. Let's look at this breakout level. It was never tested back here. That would be very healthy if the chart retests this breakout level. And it looks like it might just happen because the RSI is still a little bit higher. And that is like still like how much further down is that? It's like 65% down. EP, I'm glad you think so, dude. If I can help one person, I'm happy. So Beats incentive token, Keck. Let's look at Keck, 15k liquidity. Now at the 78.6 level. Let's look at it versus, this is a new low. So it looks like it wants to come retest this breakout level. So Pulse Chain is holding up well, where all of the altcoins are now coming down. So we've had a little bit of an alt season, right? And now everything is reverting back to the mean. We can do a volume analysis. So you can see all of this traffic here. I'd be surprised if it doesn't hold the support here. It's inside of the reload zone. I would definitely start getting some more here at the 78.6 level and then again at the 88.6 level if it does reach that. And risking very small percentages of my overall portfolio. Yeah, and I'm the founder in this. The liquidity is locked. So I'm not really concerned. Let's look at the top traders here. So we can see they bought. This guy has profited nicely, made 2k here. This guy put in 72, made 1.8. I think if Bitcoin drops to 20k over the next week or two, we will see Itropa drop to those lows as you showed. Yeah, but that would mean I mean the whole Pulse Chain ecosystem will go down. And we haven't, with Atropa and Teddy Bear going down, we haven't really seen Pulse Chain actually catching much of a bid because, I mean, those profits are going somewhere. They could be going back into stable coins, but it's probably not enough to really move the price of Pulse Chain that much. So yeah, everything is consolidating. We've now lost these higher lows on kick. So yeah, look out for these lower levels. And once again, this is when a coin breaks out, don't be surprised if it comes back to retest these breakout levels. I mean, all of them, it's the same story, right? You can see this nice structure here, these are lower highs. And when it finally breaks out, it didn't even retest it. So it's coming down to retest this now as well. And that's very, very normal, very healthy. I mean, even Hex has that, retesting the breakout level. Wait for consolidation, wait for higher lows, and you can even wait for it to break out. That was a very skew line. Let's plot the line like this. That will be your indication to go long. So you don't have to catch falling knives or nothing like that. We have bullish divergences down here as price is going lower. Yet the indicators are still higher. But if this continues to go lower, even to this level here, it can easily defeat this bullish divergence. Not really oversold just yet. 3-day pretty high. The weekly is coming down with vengeance. Finally coming down a little bit. Wrap BTC down 9%, PayPay down 12%. Link is a little bit green. Balancer 3%. Time, I still haven't gotten any time. Wrapped ETH. Yeah, so if there's anything else you guys want me to take a look at. So yeah, looking at those charts, I mean, Granny does look pretty well. You've still got your higher lows here. And still just trading along. Whereas everything else is crushed, right? So, thank you for all the likes, 17 likes, or 18, or 15 likes, excuse me, for 18 viewers. So if you would click the like button, I'd really appreciate it. Do subscribe. That would also be awesome. And I will see you guys in 2 days' time for the next stream. Let's just quickly look if there are any other coins that they want me to take a look at. And you guys in the chat as well. So yeah, I think we have covered them all thoroughly. Baby Shiva. Let's look at Baby Shiva for you. Is it Baby Shiba? Baby Shiba. Shiba on Pulse Chain. BS. Let's see. If you can give me a contract address. Is it Shiva or Shiba? It won't be Shiva. Baby Shib. It's not coming up here, dude. It's a pleasure, EP. Matt, thank you for coming, dude. What's up, Hazel? You're just catching the... It's a nano cap. Think it's at its bottom. Locked LP, 28 shares more LP. Baby Shiva. Okay. Yeah, drop the contract address. I'll wait for you. Baby Bear. Let's look at Baby Bear while we wait. No higher lows here, right? So the market does not like V bottoms. It's going to come down and retest this level down here. Let's look at some of the top traders. Bought 4K, luckily made some profits. SRF, this was also showed by, this was the live stream here. Literally, I looked at this. This is the Sense Research Foundation, and boom, B-Roots talked about this and off it went. Obviously, B-Roots won't talk about anything if he doesn't have his bag filled. So don't be surprised if he took some profits up here. Dondi, thank you for the kind comment. So yeah, it's retraced the full amount here. You were exit liquidity, unfortunately, if you bought this at the top here. And it back here, it already performed really, really well. To have another leg up like that was just asking for trouble. It's all the way back at the inside the reload zone, well below the reload zone. Yeah, if you're not buying this as soon as B-Roots talks about this, something with a low liquidity like that, will iTropa and PDI recover? Yeah, it will. It just needs a little bit time to consolidate. Anything that has a massive reaction like this, you can see the recovery in to the downside here. You spend a little bit of time here and down you go. It's the same with the upside. You need to spend a little bit time here and then pop up to the upside. I know it's probably quite scary now if you bought the top and you're down 60 to 70%. But it needs to consolidate. You can see it needs to form something like this. It needs to form its higher lows and a higher high. But obviously it's going to take a little bit of time. And unless a rug pull or an exploit or something like that happens, people will continue to talk about it. So I think he forgot about giving me the contract address for baby Shiva. So yeah, speak now and forever hold your peace. You did drop the contract address. I never saw it, dude. I don't know if YouTube blocks contract addresses if you pop it in the chat, because I don't see anything and I've been looking at it the whole time. Is it one word? Yeah, dude. I can't find it. Oh well, post the contract address for me on my Twitter thread and I will look at it next time, okay? With that being said, guys, always play from a position of strength. That means you're 78.6 level. Buy coins that are down 61%. Don't buy the tops. So that's your position of strength. We've looked at Spark Swap. Just reverse the video and you'll find it. Play from a position of strength. That's your 61% down from the upside. Never risk more than 5% on any which asset. That's the don't get wrecked part. And I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers for now. And I'll see you guys in 2 days' time. Bye-bye.